I've been diverting my full attention towards making a game these past few months. However, I still need a little bit more time before I show you what I've been working on. So, to blow off some steam, I saw a pretty fun design trend made by fakemon, which has been taking over Twitter lately. It's called #StoneSwap. Megas in Pokemon require the right Pokemon to hold the right Mega Stone. But this trend asks what if that same stone was given to someone else. fakemon has a YouTube channel and a video covering this themselves, so check them out via the links in the description. Today, I'll just be going over my interpretations and share a few stone swap designs I made myself. See, I've been a fan of fusions for a long time, and I'll bet you we'll have a Pokemon generation where a dozen of the new designs would be fusions, but they'll just be single stagers like the Paradox Pokemon. We're probably not due for a Dex gimmick until Gen 11, but stone swaps are kind of like a fusion, right? Well, my personal take is that these stones are supposed to represent what makes that Pokemon change into their Mega form. So effectively, we should take the Mega design and subtract the base form from it and then apply those remaining changes to somebody else. Of course, this is just my take on the trend because at the end of the day, it's more important to have people making and sharing art than sticking to some arbitrary rule. Heck, even official Pokemon breaks their own rules. Now if you know this channel, I love to take these opportunities to yap about some real world phenomena, so let's start with Skarmoryte. Apart from the gold, I'm not the biggest fan of the rather unwieldy feet, even if they're referencing that one meme of the baby Swampert. But I must say, a lot of the stone swaps that use this gold plating have a lot of aura. Gold itself is a metal element and metals can be mixed with other chemicals including other metals to make something called an alloy. Pure gold is rather soft, so gold products often need other metals mixed into it to retain their shape. Maybe Mega Skarm isn't good as gold because they're an alloy and isn't fully gold like Goldengo. Or maybe it was just a plate job. Either way, gold can be mixed with certain other materials to yield different colors. So let's try adding gold to another metal coated fella, Scizor. I don't know what metal Scizor is exactly, but copper is known to be kind of red, and they happen to be a pure metal element as well. Copper and gold alloys famously yield rose gold, Tambuga, and various other reddish golds, depending on the proportion. So here is Mega Scizor on Skarmoryte. I didn't pay that much attention to what base Mega Scizor looks like, mostly because I personally like the base Scizor over the Mega design. I knew the hands were going to be long, but whilst I could have made this design more awkward by not extending the leg length, I just liked how it looked with the long legs. For these designs, I'm mostly just going for what I vibe with, because that's what I think these challenges are about. They're just having fun and letting loose, because it's not like it's official or anything. Alright, now the second design. These Mega Stones are kind of like mutations, aren't they? I mean, the Mega symbol looks like a DNA's double helix. Mutations are changes to the DNA sequence. They can be somatic, which are mutations that affect a part of the body of an individual, but usually don't affect the offspring. Or they can be germline mutations, which would change the DNA the individual uses to grow up with and usually also pass on to their offspring. I'd say Megas are more like somatic mutations, because we see them revert back to their old selves, like how one can regenerate their cells to replace the somatically mutated ones. But most mutation experiments you hear about in the lab are done through germlines. I wanted to make the distinction to explain these mice which have been genetically engineered after referencing woolly mammoth DNA to have long coats. They're fluffy and adorable. However, any respectable science channel will tell you how the headlines about woolly mammoths being revived are mostly exaggerations that this lab has spread to gain publicity and funding. In reality, various mutations have been done many times before on mice, mostly due to their quick lifespans. So apparently it's the identification and simultaneous mutation of multiple genes being more impressive than the promise to bring back a prehistorical species, because unless all the genes are replaced, these aren't really bringing an older species back and more of kind of making a new one, at least according to some videos I saw covering the topic, which would be linked in the description. Luckily for us, there's a rat we could mutate. Thanks to the paid Mega Dimension DLC, Raichu is now Megable. So what's a Megastone we could give Raichu to make them have a long coat kinda like these woolly mammoth mice? I initially tried using Menectonite, but I think we can make something cuter with Abominacite. Obamasnow's Mega makes him lean forward and have a lot of frills. They don't really add any colors except for the ice spikes, but I'm mostly going for a vibe here, so what if the fluffy Raichu gets a little bit of snow on them, making them electric ice type? Also, I'm taking some creative liberties to put that ice spike on their tail, but yeah, this is Mega Raichu on Obamanite. Every time there's fusions, I kinda wish we could get more creative with the abilities, like what if we could combine Lightning Rod with Snow Warning? Not necessarily like Calyrex's as one where we combine both abilities, but if it was like a version of Lightning Rod that attracts ice type moves instead. I don't know, I guess that doesn't really make that much sense. Alright, I wanted to do one last stone swap for this video. I don't know why, but it was so hard to pick combos for me. I guess drawing any random combo isn't hard, but I wanted to tell some sort of story for each one I show you today, until I found yet another genetic topic. Try to guess which Mega I'm talking about here. You may have heard of albinism, a genetic condition that hampers the production of melanin, which are the pigments that give color to your body. Albinism across many species is commonly recognized by pale white skin, white hair or fur, and red or other light-colored eyes. Now, did you know that there is an opposite condition called melanism, where there is an excess of melanin? Apparently humans don't have a case of true biological melanism, at least according to Wikipedia, but melanism is seen across many other species. Additionally, due to pollution, this congenital condition has been favorable in certain environments, such as the case of the famous pepper moth, where darker moths were able to camouflage more easily as their habitat became more polluted. So, there's another Mega that changes the color of the base Pokemon, Mega Absol Z. They have a really pretty color palette. It's just that I'm not the biggest fan of their single hair claw. I don't know, I'm still more partial to the regular Mega. However, now it's time to find a Pokemon to give this Mega to. So I continued reading to find melanistic animals until I saw the pigeon. Pidgeotto can be melanistic. Now up to this point, I really didn't take the base Pokemon's Mega into the design, because I was focusing more on what the new stone does. However, we gotta go with the rule of cool on this one. I'm not that well aware of Dragon Ball at all, but I do know that there is a Goku Black.
Yes, it has Goku Black. That is black.
Mega Pidgeotto is probably a reference to Super Saiyans, so what if I look up a few Google images and lean into that Dragon Ball look to make Mega Pidgeot on Epsilon Ball Z. Most people might say that every Z Mega has a Z on it, and like, whatever. At least that's way less intrusive than bending the whole body of a design to make a shape, though I really don't see the Z on Zarchomp. At the end of the day, adhering to any strict design rules only really matters when you're trying to establish a world on your own or are a part of an official team. When it comes to challenges like this, you don't need me to tell you to just have fun with it. I'm just saying that this is a fantastic trend that got a lot of artists motivated. So again, make sure to check out Wastimon's channel, for they started this stone swap trend and even has a video explaining the trend in their own words. Also, you can find some great artists through the stone swap hashtag. If you want to see more of my works, you can follow the channel. I've been pretty busy working on my stem-based creature collector, but I might do small videos here and there like this one where we could discuss about some fun low-stake designs or even some topics on game dev that I'm actively working on. But in the meantime, here's a playlist of some old videos going over my own designs, and thank you firstly to my Patreon supporters for the direct support to the channel, but you can help me for free by just liking and sharing the video. And thank you for watching till the end. I hope to see you soon.